There are two great realities with which we deal: the divine being as a living, loving presence, and a law of good, which reacts to our faith or belief, and which, being a law, must of necessity react to us exactly as we believe. We wish to use this law so definitely that we may know that we have a silent partner in life, something that is all-powerful, something that is for us and never against us, something that will respond in what we call the little things, as well as in what we call the big things. This is why Jesus told us that not even a sparrow falls to the ground, but that God knows about it. Jesus used this power for everything. He used it to turn the water into wine, to multiply the loaves and fish, to heal the sick and raise the dead. Moreover, Jesus actually said, "What things soever you desire when you pray, believe you receive them, and you shall have them." And Jesus meant exactly what he said. We are not to think of things then as big or little, as hard or easy, and we are not to feel that the divine will wishes us to have only a little good or only certain types of experiences. The divine wishes us to have everything that makes life full and happy, and there is nothing wrong with using the law of good for our purposes, provided these purposes are constructive. Our prayers, to be effective, must be affirmations that are so formulated in the mind as to produce the actual inner acceptance of the desires expressed. It is as simple as this. And perhaps it is this very simplicity that eludes us. We must actually bring the mind to accept the good it desires even before it has experienced that particular good. Just as we would have to plant a melon seed before the law of nature can produce melons for us, in the same sense, we are planting our desires in the garden of a creative law of good, which produces a plant exactly like the seed, and never something else. Therefore, when we come to use this law of good for definite purposes, we must keep the thought clear that there is something that operates on our thinking exactly as we think it, something that knows how to bring everything together in a right way, and something that is ready and willing to react. This calls for practice and patience and a sort of good-natured flexibility, because we don't always keep our thoughts straight. But when we know that we are working with a definite principle, then we have the courage to go on and continue until finally our thoughts do become affirmative. This is what is meant by scientific prayer. This is what is meant by what we call right mental or spiritual practice. This is what we mean by using the science of mind philosophy consciously and for definite purposes. Let us take a simple instance and illustrate how this would work out in actual experience. Let's take a very common occurrence in the life of so many people who believe that no one cares for them. In this instance, we will imagine that you may feel isolated and alone, and that this has gone on for a good many years. It has become a pretty solid pattern of thought in your mind. Both consciously and subconsciously, you are affirming, "I have no friends. There is something wrong with me. I'm pretty much alone in the world." Because of this, you set up something of an unconscious antagonism toward others. You do this to keep your own feelings from being hurt, because you are very sensitive. Now, let's begin to re-educate your mind, or way of thinking, and let's start out by understanding that there is one divine and universal presence in which you live and move and have your being. This is God. The same presence is in everything and everyone you will ever meet. In this divine spirit, you are already one with everyone. But because you have been consciously and unconsciously denying this, it may take a little time to change your patterns of thought, to break down the old patterns that have denied you the privilege of enjoying others and being loved by them. So we start with this simple proposition. God is one. God is in everyone. God is everywhere. God is in me, and the God in me goes forth with joy to meet the God in others. Now you are actually beginning to use the science of mind for a definite purpose. You have a definite goal in mind, and you are going to rearrange your thinking to meet this new idea, that there is that within you which goes out in love and good companionship to all other people, and returns again to you.